Welcome to the Media Pro Show, the show that gives you quick, simple tips to grow your business by serving as an expert on your topic in the media. Learn how to get all the TV, magazine, newspaper, radio, podcast, and online media appearances and interviews that you want, and learn how to be great in those interviews. I'm Dr. David Geyer, orthopedic surgeon, sports medicine specialist, and media health and wellness expert. Today I want to talk about confidence. Whatever the medium is for your next interview, whether it's TV, magazines, newspapers, radio, doesn't really matter. Obviously, your message matters. Your talking points and what you want the audience to know and what you want them to remember, that matters. Your call to action and what you want them to do matters. But just as important as what you're saying is how you're saying it and how you look saying it. I get it. Maybe you haven't done a lot of TV interviews or you haven't done a lot of live radio interviews and you're nervous about it. Or maybe you're worried about the potential huge number of people watching or listening. By now, we've all heard how public speaking is for most people our greatest fear. As Darren Hardy, the business and success mentor, likes to say, we would rather be the person being buried in the casket at the funeral than the person speaking about that person at the funeral. First of all, I want you to get rid of that thought, worry about how many people are watching or listening. That's not your concern. I want you to think of one thing. I want you to talk to one person. Obviously, you're talking to the host, but more importantly, I want you to talk to one viewer or one listener, potentially your ideal customer or client or patient, and what you want that person to know. I know a lot of people who will tape a picture of their ideal client or customer, an avatar, so to speak, and answer the questions in ways that they're talking to that one person, whether it's if their ideal client or customer is a newborn mom or a senior citizen or athlete, it doesn't matter, but they're talking to that one person. Plus, confidence comes from knowing you're there for a reason. Of course, on any radio show or any TV show, there's going to be people watching or listening that don't care about your topic and what you have to say. That's a given. That's not your concern, and don't worry about it because honestly, it's just going to distract you and detract from your message. But remember this, the host does care about your topic and your message. And I promise you, there are going to be people in the audience watching or listening that do care about what you have to say. So the next time you go on for an interview, do everything you can to muster all the confidence you possibly can. You are the expert. You know more about this topic than anybody else. That's why you're on the show. But don't make the mistake that a lot of experts do in trying to impress people with how much they know, using a lot of fancy words or technical jargon. At the beginning of the COVID crisis, I was watching an interview with an infectious disease doctor. It was, I think, either CNN or Fox News. I'm not 100% sure. And this infectious disease doctor kept using the term "are not." Now, I would argue probably not even a lot of doctors know what that means. The only reason I knew what "are not" was is because I had been doing a lot of TV interviews about COVID and came across that in my research. In case you're wondering, R naught is basically a variable. It's the number of people, somebody infected with the disease, it's the number of people that they infect. And early on in COVID, we thought that R naught was between 2 and 4. Basically, if you got COVID, you could infect 2 to 4 more people. I would be willing to bet 99.99, maybe 999% of people watching had absolutely no idea what that guy was talking about. And I'd be willing to bet Fox News or CNN, wherever that was, they have not had him back on. Don't do that. Answer in ways, communicate in ways that make you relatable to ordinary people, that make you, and especially your ideal client, make you approachable. That's how you turn viewers and listeners into your ideal clients, customers, and patients, that they come to want to see you. But you also have to remember that a lack of confidence just doesn't look good on TV. And that nervousness may come off as looking down or looking away from the host. It may involve looking up when you're answering so it doesn't look like you know what you're talking about or you're making something up. Or that lack of confidence could give you an unfortunate facial appearance. You've probably heard the term resting bitch face or RBF. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it and click images. You'll see somebody that looks mean, that looks angry, or who's just overall unapproachable. Someone you don't want to work with, someone you don't want to hire. And that facial expression doesn't always come from a bad attitude. Nervousness can cause that facial appearance too. So do your best to project confidence by smiling naturally. Not some ridiculous fake smile, but just a natural demeanor, knowing that you're going to do absolutely great in that interview, that you're going to share information that helps your potential customers or clients in some way in their lives. And then most of all, remember to practice. When you've got an interview coming up, TV, radio, doesn't matter, try to anticipate the questions you're going to be asked and then record yourself giving those answers, especially if it's for a TV interview, so that you can see, your posture, your demeanor, how you look, where you look, all that kind of thing. So you look professional, look approachable and relatable on TV. Even consider doing a mock interview with a friend online so that you can get feedback on how you look and whether you're projecting confidence in that interview. And if you do that and you practice and you practice and you practice, you will get better and better. You'll ultimately be a media pro. One of the things I do with the clients I work with one-on-one is that you and I figure out exactly who your ideal client, customer, or patient is, and then develop talking points and a message that help that person in some way in their lives, and then prepare for the interview so that that person wants to work with you. As I always say on this podcast, on my website, on our coaching calls, this isn't specific business advice. I'm not giving business, legal, financial, any kind of specific advice. If you have concerns in your business and you need an expert, definitely talk to that expert. But if you want to learn more about how you can possibly get more media interviews to get more customers, clients, and patients, hopefully make more money and grow your business, or hopefully be recognized by people in your town when you're just out in public somewhere and somebody says, "Hey, I saw you on TV and you were fantastic." If any of that sounds good to you, I can help you be a media pro. Go to MediaProsCoaching.com, click the button to sign up for a free 30-minute strategy session with me. We'll talk about your business and who you are and what you're trying to achieve in your business, and look for some simple steps that you can implement right away to start getting media interviews to help you achieve those business goals. And while you're on the website, get your free copy of my ebook. It's called the Media Pros Interview Checklist. It's a simple, few-page list, 20 to 30 tips that you need to look at and implement before your next interview. TV, radio, any medium. It helps you do your best in that interview so they come back and ask you to be on again. It's really, really helpful. I mentioned Darren Hardy before, so I'll wrap this up by saying a piece of advice that I think applies not just to becoming a media pro, but really anything in your life. It's very, very important. Do fewer things more often and get better at them.